One of my first adult axe purchases, that after years having lived in the city, and before that years having torn the shit out of my stepdad's tools, was this e24A Estwing Sportsman's Axe. But really, isn't it a hatchet? I mean, if you define a hatchet as a one-handed tool, and an axe as a phrasing of a question. I bought it in preparations of roughing it for a solo camping trip at a place where they had running water and a toilet, because that's how we rough it today. Have you smelled those bathrooms? My choice at the time was some Walmart shit, for cheaper, or something high-end, like $40 high-end. And after a month or two of deliberation, I splurged at Cabela's and bought this handy tool. Little did I know at the time, $40 is cheap for an American-made hatchet. And while we ponder the economics of expensive hand tools made in America or designed in America and made in a country with value labor, let's look at the dimensions, like the weight and the length from the bottom of the handle all the way to the top. I know this axe says 14 inches, but it ain't. Yeah, it's 14 inches, I swear. Also, weight with the sheath. Maybe they measure diagonally like this, and added another inch. Okay, back of head to front of it and the cutting edge. I don't know, maybe they lied. Can we say lied? Handle area. Is truth relative? Okay, that's it. I'm sorry, truth is relative. The Estwing Sportsman's Axe, or again, it's really a hatchet, even though Estwing says it's an axe, comes in two sizes, I think. I really don't know anymore. The E14 and the E24A. The E14 is smaller. Maybe it's smaller. Maybe it's 10 inches. I don't know. But Estwing also makes camp axes and now tomahawks. Some that look tactical because that's what I guess the average idiot buys these days. If it can't breach, it ain't worth a shit. The axe is forged from one piece of 1055 carbon steel. I have sharpened mine many times with a Lansky puck, starting with the rough side if the edge is dull, like talking about sharpening, and dinged, and then finishing with the smooth side. Circular motions work best. Sometimes for fun. Well, maybe fun is the wrong word. I use my Spyderco Sharpmaker rods to give the edge a bit more of a polish. If I'm feeling naughty. But if you have the $7, the puck should do just fine. For me, this axe is good at clearing small limbs off larger ones and cutting branches and small saplings or trees a few inches in diameter or smaller. Hatchets by design are for lighter work. If you're building a shelter, saws and axes are a better fit. Or, a goddamn tent. It also comes in handy, speaking of tents, when camping because the back of the head doubles as a hammer for tent stakes. Rubber mallets work best, but if you're careful and you keep the sheath on, the hand axe will work in a pinch as a hammer, as long as you don't tell your stepdad. The handle. Everyone on Amazon warns the handle is slick and you need to mod it to get it workable. They say sand it down with 100 grit, rub in neat's foot oil for a few days or a few years. Neat. I don't know, look it up. The handle is slick, but it has a nice taper so that if you have a tight grip on it, it tends to stay in your hand as you swing. The thick bottom of the handle resists sliding through on each swing. The leather part is just shy of accommodating both of my hands comfortably. However, with the hand axe, sometimes you need two hands, but a lot of the time, you just have one hand there and the other hand shakily stabilizing the target for safety. I don't own a lot of hand axes, or any other axes really for that matter, but the Estwing feels well balanced, with weight in the handle and weight in the head. I purchased it mostly because I didn't want to have to replace the handle ever, or hang the handle as they say. Comparisons. I'll keep this short. I only have this single hand axe and I interchangeably use Kukris in the place of hand axes. The Estwing is good for branches and limbs 3 to 4 inches in diameter or smaller. You have to be precise with your hits, of course, because the edge is only about 3 inches. Let's look at my Made in USA $280 Zombie Tools Kukri. Not for zombies, but for trees and yard waste. This has a much longer edge and is like combining a machete with a hand axe. It improves your reach, but still has a lot of power behind it. The Estwing should be better at logs, but this is better with brush and limbing, and I can cut through stuff almost as quickly as the Estwing. How about my Bud K Kukri made in India? It's a bit cheaper than the Estwing, and as you can see, it's been beat to shit. The handle isn't as comfortable, but it's still good at chopping. On both Kukris, the blades are stout, weighty, and not flexible. The Zombie Tools is what I use most for brush clearing, and slow motion videos. Alright, let's chop. My Sportsman's Axe comes in handy more often in the yard than the woods. I don't get to the woods much these days. Used to, though. Used to. Campsites often provide you wood, so you don't need them there much either. And national parks where I backpack often discourage fires by making them illegal. The top way to discourage people from doing things, except for maybe smoking weed. I mean, smoking weed doesn't discourage people from doing illegal things. Like, making things illegal doesn't discourage... You know what? I don't use my Estwing as much anymore because I use my Kukris to break apart all the branches in the yard. You're like, yeah, I remember you saying that 2 minutes ago. We'd like to know a little bit about you for our files. However, a camper-sized axe is often more socially acceptable than a kukri. That's a life hack, neckbeards. Wait, is an axe literally a life hack? Discuss. If you're in need of a camp axe, it's hard to find a better, more durable example at a reasonable price than a Sportsman's Axe from Estwing. There's also a rubberized handle camp axe if you need more grip, or do the Amazon mod. I don't have time to do it, but maybe you do. The rubberized handled one seems to be a little more shock resistant too in the hands. My brother owns the Sportsman's Axe with the leather stacked handle, and his handle is in much rougher shape. I think he leaves his shit out sometimes. Although I have beat on this a lot, I always put it away dry, and I don't leave it outside overnight to rust. Occasionally I'll take a wire brush to the head with my drill if it gets a little too discolored. It's okay at splitting wood, however sometimes batoning with a larger fixed blade knife, or just using a wood splitter, works better at splitting wood because small wood can be tedious to balance, and you have to be precise and forceful with your hits, and then you still might not split it on the first try, because you're not a real man anyway. Limbing larger trees with hand axes isn't the most fun. It's better suited with machetes or larger axes with larger blades and handles, so you don't have to bend over like a dumbass like me. If you like this review, subscribe to the channel, give the video a big thumbs up, leave a comment, go chop something down as long as it's legal to do so, and if you'd like to support my channel, buy it through the links in the description, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Twitter alerts you better when I release new videos than YouTube does. Go figure. Thanks for watching.